You're a real estate agent or other business owner and you want to make marketing videos. What is the best camera for real estate agents? More importantly, what camera did I just buy? Oh baby, I think I know what this is. Let's go inside and open it up, shall we? It's on my door because sometimes my daughter likes to interrupt when I'm working, like every time. If you like my videos, go ahead and give me a thumbs up below and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. I get asked all the time, what camera did you make that video with? Which camera should I buy? What's the best camera for real estate agents? Well, the reality is the best camera is the one you already own. Just start using the camera you have, which is probably an iPhone or Android. If you don't have a camera yet, start using that. What matters isn't your camera, it's the content. On the flip side, I'm into video, I'm into tech, I like cameras, so I've been obsessing about a camera for a long time. This is the camera I ended up with. I'm always afraid I'm gonna poke myself in the eye with this if I don't close it, because I'm a little bit, you know. And the CEO finally approved. Oh, yes. I love her already. I hear these batteries last a really long time. You may have noticed it didn't exactly come with a lens, so I debated long and hard. Do I get this one, the Panasonic lens, 7-14, or the Olympus, which is a 2.8 to f4, and I went with this one. Look at it. It's light and pretty and perfect in autofocus and wide. Okay, the only terrifying thing is when you're doing vlog style stuff, you use a wide angle lens. But with this nose, I'm afraid it's going to accentuate it a little too much. Please tell me the battery comes charged. Until I got this camera, the Panasonic Lumix GH5, the camera I used the most for my marketing videos was this one, my iPhone. And people still asked, what camera do you use? Because nobody knew it was an iPhone, because if you make great content, it really doesn't matter what camera you use. I also used my drone quite a bit. Hey, what camera are you using now, and what's your dream camera? Go ahead and post it in the comments below. Now, when I talk about the best camera for real estate agents, I'm not really talking about a camera to shoot listing videos with. However, the Lumix GH5 is a great camera for shooting listing videos. In fact, it's what my video guy uses to shoot my listing videos. What I'm talking about is a camera to make marketing videos, a camera to connect with your audience, a camera to showcase, places of interest, or do business-to-business interviews, or I like to do vlog-style videos. Now, while I say your camera doesn't matter, and it really doesn't to a large degree, content is everything. At some point, if you get into this, you're gonna wanna level up your game. You're gonna start looking at cameras. You're gonna geek out like I kinda did and go, what's the best camera? Which one does everything that I need it to do? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the criteria I looked at to choose the GH5. There's a ton of options out there. This camera is not the be-all end-all. I happen to be a big Canon fan. We own a Canon 5D Mark II, a bunch of lenses for it. Canon has some great stuff. Sony has some great stuff. There's amazing cameras out there, and pretty much any camera you get in, over 500 bucks, you could make look pretty incredible. So I'm not saying this is the camera for everyone. In fact, it's probably not the camera for many of you because it has so many options. It has a ton of menu options, a ton of features. And even though I'm a video guy, I've been a photographer in the past, I was an editor for 18 years in the entertainment industry, I know a lot about cameras and video, this thing is still taking me a while to learn. It's a learning curve. You're probably gonna watch this video and go, oh, Trevor, your color balances are off. Or, oh, you shot at 60 frames a second. What are you doing that for? You should have shot at 24. It has a lot to offer. And when you got a lot to offer, that means there's a lot to learn. So what I'm gonna do is tell you some of the things I looked at to choose this camera for me, for my purposes. Here's a nerd alert. This is gonna get a tiny bit techie. So if you're not techie, you don't care about that stuff, just look at another video. I've got another video right here about how to make videos for beginners. Just go ahead and look at that video. However, if you're into cameras and into tech, this video could be for you. These are the features that I looked at when choosing the Panasonic Lumix GH5. Number one, I wanted a camera with a front-facing screen. This camera, the Canon 5D Mark II, does not have a flip-out screen, so I couldn't watch myself. It was a nightmare. Every time I tried to record something with this, I'd hook it up to an HDMI monitor. It was a big, huge pain. I wanted this camera because it has a front-facing screen. Next, I wanted a camera with a microphone input. The built-in mics on most cameras sound pretty terrible, including the mic on the Lumix, and I wanted to be able to plug in a higher quality mic. When I'm out of my studio, I shoot with the Rode VideoMic Pro, just sitting on top of my camera. If you're interested in that mic, there's a link for it below so you can check out more details on it. Another feature I really wanted was continuous autofocus. The biggest pain for me when shooting with the 5D Mark II was having to focus it by myself. It's got, you can press a button, it'll focus, but if I've got the camera over here trying to record me and I'm trying to focus myself, it's pretty much impossible. So I needed a camera with continuous autofocus. Most of them have it now. The Lumix GH5 is known for having just kind of average autofocus. Actually, it's not super great. They found a workaround to make it a little bit better. Hopefully it's working great for this video and tracking my face no matter where I go. The camera with the best continuous autofocus nowadays is the Canon line. They have something called dual pixel autofocus, and it does amazing continuous autofocus. Another feature I needed to have in my camera was high frame rate shooting. That means being able to shoot at a high frame rate, like 120 frames a second, so you can slow it down and make really awesome slow motion. Most cameras will give you, up to 60 frames a second. So if you're finishing at 30 frames a second, you get like 50% slow motion, which isn't quite enough. You want that buttery smooth, super cool looking cinematic slow motion. So I needed 120 frames a second. This will even do 180 frames a second. That was one of the big criteria in choosing this camera. 4K. This camera does 4K. 4K is the future, and I would be using it now, but my computer can't quite handle it without making proxies, but I will be using 4K in the future. 4K gives you a lot of possibilities. I'll talk about that in another video, but I wanted to be future-proof, so I had to have a camera that shot in 4K. The final required feature for me was in-body image stabilization. I didn't want shaky cam. This camera has built-in in-body image stabilization, so even if you're shaking around a little bit, it's gonna smooth out your footage. A couple nice features I wanted, which weren't 100% requirements, were having dual SD cards. I can put two 128 gig SD cards in here and record for a very long time. I can either record the same thing to both, so I've got backup in a critical situation, or I can just keep recording from one to the next. So that's kind of nice. Another feature is a headphone jack, so I can actually listen to what the audio sounds like without having to play it back. I can listen to it live. Another great feature the GH5 has, wasn't totally necessary but super sweet, is it shoots in 10-bit 422, which means it gathers more data for every frame. If you're shooting something like green screen, that's going to be great. It's going to be able to key out the green. There's more data to pull from. One feature the GH5 doesn't have that I wish it had is a full frame sensor. My 5D Mark II does have a full frame sensor. One of the advantages a full frame sensor gives you, it's a bigger sensor size, so you have better performance in low light, you have slightly better image quality, and you also have the ability to control your depth of field a little more, that bokeh effect. You can get the background a little blurrier, a little bit easier with a full frame sensor. The bigger the sensor is, the more controller you have over the depth of field. I'd also like it to have focus as good as what Canon offers on its cameras. But beyond those two things, I'm pretty happy with this camera. It does a lot of amazing, cool cinematic stuff. My dream camera doesn't exist. There are no cameras that have everything I want. Probably the closest one is the Canon 1DX Mark II, which has everything I want, except for the fact that it's $6,000, weighs 1,000 pounds, and it doesn't have a front-facing screen, so it was a complete deal killer for me. The other camera that I considered is the Canon 6D Mark II, which has most of everything that I want, except it records at a lower data rate. It records at only 60 megabits a second. This thing records at a much higher data rate than that. Number two, it doesn't have a headphone jack. And number three, the absolute deal killer for me for the 6D Mark II was it only has 60 frames per second slow motion and not 120 like this. And that was a super hard decision because I already own a bunch of Canon glass. But I really wanted the slow-mo, so I got the GH5. Which camera should you get? Well, unless you're super techy and into this stuff, you probably shouldn't get the GH5. But if it's your thing, go for it. I love it. I highly recommend it. If you want a simple point and shoot, a ton of vloggers use the Canon G7X, great camera. Something a little nicer with interchangeable lenses would be the Canon 70D or the Canon 80D. The 6D Mark II, a lot of people use. Last I heard, Casey Neistat was using the 6D Mark II. Before that, he used the GH5. Sony has some great offerings as well. I ruled out the Sony because their higher end cameras don't have front-facing screens. However, the picture quality and low light performance is incredible on a Sony. If you'd like more information about any of the cameras I mentioned, go ahead and hit the links below. Give me 1 second.
Is it video?
Yes, it's video. It's video. She just... When I say, go ahead and give me a second, instead of leaving the room, she comes in the room and puts her face here. Show them your face, Leela. Let's see if my camera can track your face. Look at that cute face. Which camera should they get, Leela?
The one they can afford.
Sage advice from a wise woman. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you in the next one. Okay, maybe it's kind of cheesy, but I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to be able to do this with my camera.